Howdy, everybody. I'm back with a full review of Fallout. This time, I'm going to be talking about the whole show, which is highly revered. It's just taken off. Everyone's loving it. So it's kind of like, we don't really need your opinion, Neil, but I'm going to do it anyway. I got to score it. I got to talk about it a little bit. I'm mainly going to be talking about episode 8 here, though. I'm going to assume everyone's pretty much, already knows the deal with this show, but at this point, and therefore I don't have to just kind of explain the whole story, make a big long, video. But I will be spoiling the last episode here, certainly. So spoilers, spoiler alerts. Yes, you've been warned. All right, so the show is awesome. It's amazing. It's a wonderful fan service, a great adaptation of those excellent Fallout games. And there are so many references, so many Easter eggs. I could go on forever about it. The visual effects are top notch. The sound effects are great, and the music is perfect. A lot of those old timey songs and stuff, and there's even a little bit of the video game original score in the show as well, if you listen closely. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna be singing its praises. There's really nothing I didn't like about it. All 8 episodes were thoroughly entertaining. I was never bored. I was never looking at my phone. It's just they did an amazing job. My only question is, like, I wonder what people who don't know the games, wonder what they think about Fallout, right? I'd really love to know your opinion in the comments below. If you've never played Fallout, you may have heard of it, but if you've never played the games, you don't really get all the references. What did you think? I believe that a lot of people that don't know the games are going to love the show anyway, mostly because of Ella Purnell's performance, as this wide-eyed vault dweller. She's kind of naive at first, naturally, understandably, really, just raised in this vault her whole life. She doesn't know what the real world is like. And when raiders come and they're led by this lady Moldaver, who is much older than she seems, they kidnap her father, who's also much older than he seems, as they were both frozen for a couple hundred years, and Hank turned out to be not such a good guy after all. So once we get to episode 8, I'm just going to deal with Lucy here for a moment. When we get to episode 8, The Beginning, Lucy, she winds up, recovering the head again. So this is the this is the head of Michael Emerson's character, the scientist, with the dog. And by the way, there's a dog in this show, and he's awesome, just like dog meat in the games. So you got to have that, German Shepherd in there. But anyway, so Lucy, she has the head of Michael Emerson's character, and it was full of the unlimited energy, unlimited power. That's just really invaluable. In the wasteland in this time period. So because she has that, and she brings that to Moldaver in exchange for her father, but she finds out her father is not such a good guy, because it turns out he dropped bomb on Shady Sands where her mother Rose was, and that turned her mother Rose into a feral ghoul. So yeah, we see Rose, but she's all, nasty and snarly and, like all that way. And so naturally, Lucy is upset by this revelation. She winds up shooting her mom in the head, putting her down out of her misery. And in the end, her journey winds up coinciding with the ghoul himself. So speaking of ghouls, Cooper, of course, the old movie star there, he's found out some valuable information as well. I guess through flashbacks and stuff. They kept going back in time and back and forth and stuff, and I like that, quite frankly. But he discovered that his wife was a part of the whole, Vault-Tec conspiracy, which was to, hey, let's kill most of the people on Earth, or at least in the country, in order for us to survive, and it'll be us, the smart people, that survive. So all of this is happening. All of this is going on in Coop's head, in Cooper's head. I really love his character, of course. He does look like the Red Skull, but that's fine. He's like Clint Eastwood. He's like the man with no name. He's like a bounty hunter. His story is fantastic. So he and Lucy are now together, companions, going out into the world there, into the wasteland. Meanwhile, Hank steals a body of armor, and he, except for the head, and he winds up blasting off. and going away, and also Maximus, of course. So I got to talk about Maximus a little bit here. Maximus, he's really, really good. He's pretending to be this other guy, Titus. Titus was a jerk, so so Maximus left him to die, and now Maximus is Titus. So Maximus is the he's the guy he always wanted to be, really. Moldaver actually winds up activating this power supply that was inside the head, and then she dies, and he gets credit for her death, basically. So the Brotherhood of Steel, they celebrate him. Yay, way to go, Maximus! And he's a full knight now, I guess. His squire, he gets this squire, and he's really funny, named Thaddeus. Thaddeus turns on him once he realizes that, Maximus is in the armor, that it's not actually Titus, and takes off with the head, but he winds up giving up the head to Lucy, of course, once he realizes that he made a mistake in healing his injuries, and now he's going to become a ghoul, I thought he was going to turn into a super mutant, but I don't know, maybe he still will. Maybe they'll just save that for the next season. So anyway, there you go. You got 3 different storylines going on at once, and somehow the show just juggles it all perfectly. One last scene I have to mention, of course, is at the very end, is when Hank winds up in Vegas. And as we all know, Fallout New Vegas is one of the best games in the series. And he also comes across this skull, which looks like the skull of a Deathclaw. And the Deathclaws are the big bad creatures of the Fallout world that are not to be underestimated. They're very powerful characters until you get body armor, and you can handle them with body armor, no problem. So that's great. Hopefully next season we do see, live Deathclaws, and we see super mutants, and we get more of that fan service, because it is just absolutely one of the best TV shows I've ever seen adapted from a video game, especially in terms of the fan service. But the quality control here is excellent. I would really like to know, again, who has not played the games out there that's watching this review. I want to know if anybody's watching this review at all. Please comment down below and say, hey, I never played Fallout, and I liked the show, or I didn't like the show, or it was just okay. I think that non-gamers will like this show if they like post-apocalyptic stuff, and I really do think that they will like the characters. I think they're very memorable. I think they stand out wonderfully. I wasn't bored for a second. I watched all 8 episodes with my eyes glued to the screen, not looking at my phone at all. So I think it'll be the same for anyone that's not familiar with Fallout as well. I think they'll be completely engaged in it, and they'll be entranced by it, and it leaves you wanting more, more. And I still got the songs in my head, those old-timey songs. It's fantastic. So yes, great work, Amazon. Great work, Bethesda Studios, and all these producers, Jonathan Nolan, Lisa Joy. They've all done such a great job of putting together this show. And I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for season 1. Yes, for the first 8 episodes, it is a perfect show as far as I'm concerned. There were very little things that I didn't care for. There's some side characters like the Cyclops, played by Chris Parnell. That was just kind of meh, whatever. Little things that I haven't seen from the games weren't that exciting to me. So, again, there's a lot of fan service there, and I'd really like to know other, non-gamers' opinions. So that's it for my review, a very truncated review, of course. I'm not going to talk about everything, didn't want to make it too long, but I thank all of you for listening to this review of Fallout. I cannot wait for Season 2. It's been already greenlit, of course, so yeah, just a matter of time. All right, guys, until next time, peace.